David, let me ask you this, because this is something, and you touched on something I think that's really, really powerful there. And it's when you think that session's been muddled, and you as a practitioner, as a physiotherapist, have gone, gosh, I didn't really give that client what I wanted to give them. I didn't get the result. And yet they've come back to you 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks later and gone, I've never felt so good from that last session you did. That, I think, is a really key point, because we don't understand, as I said before, what's going on in their background. And sometimes it may have been your touch, sometimes it may have been your listening, sometimes it may have been your compassion, sometimes it's just your smile, because those people haven't had that experience from anyone else in their environment. So don't underestimate what you do when a person leaves that session. You know, their outcome might be to lose 10 kgs. Understand this: if that person's not happy, I don't care how good a trainer you are, you might force the 10 kgs off it, but it'll come back, and it'll come back bigger and worse. And pain is the same. You know, we've got to start to understand, if we can connect a lot of times with the brilliance of, you know, the network of people we haven't necessarily got to do a lot at all, because we can actually refer, go with the person if you feel like, have the relationship with the allied health professional, and all of a sudden that client now is just, wow, yeah, you've taken your time to come here, I don't feel intimidated with this allied health professional, and they can see we're working together for them.
And they're willing to back them because you back them, and you've got the relationship now. And it's not just the 10k you lose. You know, it's not the 20% increase in your strength, or the fact that you've now made, you know, the A-grade team. You know, particularly in personal training, that relationship building develops something else, and what it develops is empowerment. You've got a client whose mindset has changed. It's a shift. It's not just a performance measure. We should have performance measures. But you need to measure what you treasure.
But sometimes KPIs aren't always available in certain situations. So as you say, yes, we've got to have measurements, but sometimes we're talking emotion, or we're talking mental. Sometimes they're hard to have KPIs.
Harder to measure.
Yes.
Harder to measure. And in fact, you know, sometimes what we consider a worthwhile gain isn't worthwhile for our client. What we think's insignificant is major for them, and that's the thing that gave them the belief in themselves. So I couldn't agree more, OD. It comes down to what the client thinks is important. Am I empowered? Do I see my world differently? And when they do, they act differently, they behave differently, they think differently, and they relate differently. And what a gift.